Okay, so we are going to review our last week Mangala. So as usual, I would like a few of you to volunteer to discuss about last week based on the slide. Okay, Tata Andrew, go ahead.
Uh, Wait, do we start like saying what the things are about?
Yes, you just pick a slide on here.
The lizard one.
Okay, go ahead.
So for the lizard one, there you're supposed to cover 5 holes to catch the lizard, to only opening one hole, which is supposed to be your mind.
Very good, that. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, who want to try another slide? Brian?
Can I share the one on the top left?
Yes.
So this is like it, like the second, like the 4, 5, and 6 mangalas. It tells you like where to, like how to live and how to get like the best life, like during your lifetime.
Okay, very good, that. Thank you. To me, Michelle.
So on the bottom right corner, the don't react, use self-awareness, it's the motto we use when we meditate. And it means like even when we're itchy and like our legs are numb, we shouldn't like react and just try to use self-awareness, like the Mangala number 6 on to keep one's mind and body in a proper way, like control our like desires.
Very good to me. Good job. So can anyone comment a little bit more on this? What's the relationship between our motto or our logo, our Quantum Locus logo, related to this or this or this? So Michelle has mentioned one thing that is very important, right? This is what we, basically it is our mantra. Whenever we meditate daily, we recite this and we practice this, right? But this mantra does not come out easily. It does not come out just because I love it. So it is related to these. So can someone relate this and this picture and whatever you see here in the middle and this and these and the mangalas that we're learning? Miranda.
Okay, for between the lizard picture and our motto, so so you're pretty much blocking your 5 senses or just not giving into them because they're going to distract you. So our motto is don't react, use self-awareness. So like you shouldn't react to your 5 senses. For example, you see or you smell something really good or you taste something that's really tasty or like your favorite food, I don't know what it is, but you shouldn't really like react in a sort of way. For example, eventually you'll be greedy or attached to whatever that thing is. And for the Mangala slide above, so like to keep your mind and body in a proper way is to kind of like to I don't know. Actually, I'm not sure for the slide on the above, but yeah.
Okay, good. So yeah, let me fill you in a little bit. So you're actually in the right track. So to keep one's mind and body in a proper way, basically mean this. So you're basically keeping your mind and your body, making sure that you don't follow your temptation, right? So in life, you will be lured into a lot of things. Right now, you're lured into a lot of things already. You're lured into all these games. You're attached to these games. You know that those are useless for your life, but you can't resist playing, right? Very soon, you will be lured into opposite sex. The girls are going to be attracted to boys. The boys are going to be attracted to girls. You know that you shouldn't, but it's hard, right? Now you're now attached to songs, social media, TikTok, right? Now, if you cannot control, then chances that you're going to end up in a bad place. You're going to end up becoming a bad person. So all the people who are considered to be bad today, they were not born bad, right? Were they born as a Satan, or were they born with a little horn that, oh, I am going to be bad boy, I'm going to be bad girl in life? No, right? People who do drugs, people who smoke, who drink, they were not born drunk. They were not born as a drug addict, right? But they cannot resist these five senses, right? They cannot keep their minds and body in proper way. Then they become all these bad people. So we don't want you to be like that. That's why every night when we pray and meditate, that's the motto, right? That's our mantra. Don't react. Use self-awareness. Because we want you to be aware of these, and we want you to start practicing now. Because if you ever just have one, you will be in bad.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt.
Okay, so now I would like someone to relate this slide with this. Sarah.
I think the picture on top is related to the bottom picture because it says to keep one's mind and body in a proper place, and the bottom one says don't react, use self-awareness. In order to keep one's mind and body in the proper way, we should be aware of what we're doing. For example, are we playing games too much?
All right, thank you, Tami. Now, who remember about the story that we showed you last week? What do you see here? I know you see like three images of a beautiful girl, but what is she wearing here? What kind of hat is she wearing? It's a picture, the face, the mask of an ogre, right? So this is a.
If she wears it, she's gonna be attached.
This is an ogress. So what is the story that you listened last week? Who wanna retell that story to the class? Let me ask someone who hasn't talked. Tata Zoe, do you remember the story and you wanna retell the story?
I didn't watch the story.
You did not watch the story. That's okay. Okay, yeah. All right. Let's see. I want. Okay, Tata Ricky, go ahead.
So I remember that this prince named Tyler and other friends of his went on a journey to another kingdom because he wanted to be a king. And then there were these ogres who transformed into like beautiful things, like they got attracted. Everyone got attracted to the things for the five senses, but except Tyler. And then Tyler got to the other place without getting attracted to anything.
Thank you, Ta. Okay, now final question. Who can explain the meaning of this Burmese word here in the middle of this circle, or the target of our logo? Sophia Tom.
Like for the ogre story, like the.
No. This Burmese word here in the middle of this circle.
No, I'm not sure what that one is.
Okay, all right, Jackson.
I think it means like touch.
Very good. So why is it in the middle of this? What does it mean by that? Kevin.
No, I was just going to say that it actually says patha, which is pasa in Pali.
Very good. Very good. So very good. So this is very important for us, for all of us, especially for Buddhists, that you want to be successful in life, whether you want to be successful in your daily life, this life, or you want to be successful in samsara. Because every sense, whether you're talking about 5 senses or 6 senses, has to have phassa or touch, right? Now, if you are aware and if you can focus on that, and if you don't react on that, okay, you win. If you can't, you lose. So that's the name of the game, phassa. That's the reason why our Quantum Novus logo is such that phassa in the middle, surrounded by what? What are these? What are these circles?
The Dhamma, Sangha, and Buddha.
Good thought, but no, that's not the answer. What do they represent? What do these colors represent? Zach? Okay, go ahead.
A drusa, like the one it says above.
No, that. All right, William.
The Buddhist flag?
The Buddhist flag, yes and no. So yeah, you can say these are the color in the Buddhist flag. Yes, it's partly correct. And the other answer is these color represent the elements, okay? The major elements, like you all know 4 elements at least, right? So actually there are 2 more, there are 6 elements. So those represent these. So our logo has a lot of meaning, right? So we're made of 6 elements. So right now, you know, only 4 elements. So 4 elements. And then in the middle, it is very important that phassa or the touch are these senses, representing these senses. And it is important that we don't react. And we use self-awareness, meaning we're going to be very mindful, right? So that's the reason why the meaning of our logo. So related to this Mangala, okay? All right, very good. Thank you. So we're going to go to our fun time with Kahoot. Okay, this is straightforward question, right? So this is the Mangala that we studied last week. So a lot of you got it right. All right, very good. Jackson and George, Sarah, Eric, Kathleen, very good. Welcome to the board. Let's go to next question. All right, let's see. So there are 6 senses, but we block the 5 holes. right? Then we leave the mind hole open. Now, it doesn't really mean that you just let go of your mind any way it wants, but we don't completely block it, right? We are to be very mindful and watch over where your mind is. So, but we don't really block it, not like the other senses or the other holes, right? Very good. Okay, so Eric and Kathleen's going up. Good job. Same people on the leaderboard. Okay, all right, let's move on. All right, very good, Laura. You got it right. So there are a few of you who answered this by listening to Dhamma at the same time. Now that actually is okay, but not the right answer, because if you are to focus on one thing, Buddha said, do one thing at a time. Doesn't matter whether you, okay, what I'm studying, I like Buddhism so much that I will turn on the Dhamma next to me. It is okay, you will generate some good energy, but you are not going to be well focused, right? So you got to do one thing at a time. No multitasking. Doesn't matter whether it's Dhamma or Buddha or Sangha or anything, you just focus on one thing. If you're listening to Dhamma, just listen to Dhamma. If you meditate, just meditate, nothing else. If you study, just study. Okay, all right. Okay, so Josh is going up, Sarah going back up, Kevin, welcome to the board. Jackson still leading, very good. Okay, so a lot of you got it right too. So this is Pali word about to keep one's mind and body in a proper way. This is the Mangala that we learned last week and we'll still discuss it. So a lot of you got it right, very good. Yes, this is supreme auspiciousness. It is a type, it is one of the 38 supreme auspiciousness, but it doesn't mean this is the meaning of supreme auspiciousness. All right, Sarah, Kevin, so Kevin and Sophia Dome, welcome to the board. Jackson still leader, Josh is still second. Very good. All right, so what does pasa mean? It is in the middle of our logo, our circle, and it means touch, right? It can be any touch, whether you see something and that image touches your retina in your eye, you hear a sound, the sound will touch your eardrum, you touch physically something nice or something bad. You taste something, the food tastes your taste buds on your tongue. So that's what it means. Pasa means touch. So whenever there is a touch, if you make yourself aware, then you will not be attached to that. If you're not aware of that touch, and if you just focus on, oh, I like it, oh, lovely, oh, I love it, or I hate it, whatever you react, then you are going to have either attachment or you are going to have hatred or anger. All right, so that's why the pasa is important. All right, very good. Oh, Sarah went all the way up. Very good. Dylan, welcome to the board. And Michelle, welcome to the board. And Sophia, Ton, and Kathleen. Very good. Okay, let's go to next. All right, so this just to recall your memory, right? So the fourth Mangala is the recited Mangala, to live in a suitable place. Very good. A lot of you got it right. Dylan, good job on the top. Sophia Tom and Ricky, welcome to the board. All right, very good. Let's go to next. Okay, so this is a little tricky, right? So most of the answer seems correct, or in fact, all of the answers seems correct. So because of our 5 senses, well, in fact, we have 6 senses, including our mind. And in fact, the mind is the worst one, right? If you don't control your 5 senses, then eventually, whatever senses that you have, eventually will have to go through the mind sense, right? Nothing can go through the mind. Whatever these 5, it could be your smell, your touch, your taste, your vision, anything has to go through the mind window, right? So you got to actually guard your mind window too. So if your mind is all over the place, it means because that, including your mind, our 6 senses are not in order. You're not putting in guard of all these 6 holes or 6 senses. Now, that's why the 5 senses is not correct. Now, because our temptation to eat junk food, well, it seems correct, but not all the time, right? Just because you're attached to junk food, your mind is not all over the place, okay? But if you want to achieve too many things in a short amount of time, then definitely your mind will be all over the place, right? So you want to be studying, but at the same time, you want to be on TikTok. At the same time, you want to watch this famous movie just came out. At the same time, you want to be talking to your friend. At the same time, you want to play some game. Well, nothing is going to get done fully, right? You might be doing all at the same time, but you are not going to master anything. So that's the reason why this is correct. All right. Okay, let's see. Now, okay, very good job, Sophia. The rest are the same. Let's go to next. All right, so a lot of you got it right. Even though we say meritorious deeds in the past, you can't really go back to the past and change things. That's why this is wrong. We don't wait till the right time. We are to do meritorious deeds always, every moment, whenever you can. You can really go to the future with the time machine. We don't have one. Okay, so meaning you're going to do meritorious deeds right now, every moment. A lot of you got it right. Very good. All right, Sarolyn going back up, and Kevin, welcome back to the board. Very good. Okay, number 9. Okay, so doing meritorious deeds doesn't mean that you just have to sit in front of Buddha all the time and meditate all the time. We just can't do it, right? You still have to do what you need to do for life. Okay, so do you need to go to school and make more friends? Definitely. If you don't go to school, if you just sit in front of Buddha and meditate, that's not the answer, right? So you still have to go to school. You're gonna make more friends. You watch YouTube videos because you want to, but the reason that you're watching YouTube videos are because you want to actually make games, not play games, right? So that's why it is the right answer, because if I say play games, then that will be the wrong answer. But over here, you're not watching because you want to play games, but you actually want to know how to make and test the games that you made. Okay, and you play games that teach you how to do money management in life, right? Or even if you if you're on TikTok or if you're on YouTube, but you're making those and you become famous, you have 1 million followers and you're making a lot of money, right? So that is still considered the meritorious deed because it will be beneficial for your future, right? So all the answers are correct. Let's see who got the most. All right.
Oh my God.
Okay. So Cho and May. All right. Very good. Thank you. All right. So, okay, answers are all over the place. Okay. So this Mangala, these group of Mangalas are not taming delusion, not for profession, not for dealing with ups and downs in life. We haven't learned those yet. So it's recited Mangalas. We talk about where to live, right? Physically, mentally, right? How to prepare our life for the future. So that's the recited Mangalas. All right, let's see. Good job, Dylan. Wow, so amazing. Wow, good job. I am very happy. All right. So we are going to go on to profession Mangala, what to learn and what to do in life. Okay, so it has 4 Mangalas here. So number 7, 8, 9, and 10. So number 7 is Bahu Setshansa Setpansha. What does it mean by that is to have much learning. Vinayosa Susikito. In Pali, whenever you see O, we pronounce O and R sound like O. Vinayo. Okay, Susikito. Okay. Now Vinayo, if you say Vinayo, you're wrong. Okay, it has to be Vinayo. That's a Pali phonetic, right? When you see O, is O and R sound together like O. Vinayosa. Okay. Vinayosa Susikito. Suba Sita Sha. Now remember always C is CH sound like cha. Suba Sita Cha. Yava Cha. Yava Cha. Whenever you see a little dash on here, it's a longer vowel. Okay. Ya, not ya. Ya, like Y-A-R. Ya, like V-A-R. Va. Okay. Sha. Yava Sha. Okay. All right. So repeat after me. Bahu seshansa sipensha Vitnayosha Susikito Subasitasha Javasha Etam Mangala Mutama. Okay, over here, not Yavasha. Okay, Yavasha. You see, this is it gotta be a long vowel, right? Yavasha. All right, so to have much learning, this is what we're going to learn today, our 7th Mangala. So repeat after me also in Burmese. Takauntaya Hudamyago
Udamyaku
Jamien Tuta Shivazi.
Jamyen Tuta Shibazi.
All right. So the English interpretation is very short and it doesn't give you much meaning. Okay. The Burmese interpretation is way better. Okay. Takauntaya. Anything that you should know in life, anything that you should practice in life. So that's what it means by Takauntaya Hudamya. Ja, meaning you should hear it or you should listen to it. Mien, meaning you should look at it, you should observe it. Okay. Tuta, you should experience it. Okay. Shivazi. So Burmese interpretation is much better, right? Anything you need in life, anything you need for survival in your life, to make your life better, okay? And to liberate from samsara, you gotta know it. How? By listening, by observing, and by practicing. So that's what it means by this Pali sentence. Unfortunately, English learning is very mediocre, okay? All right, so that's what we're going to learn. Now, let's talk about this to have much learning. So, there's so many things to see, so many things to listen to, so many things to observe, so many things to experience. How would you know which one? Okay, so let's discuss about that. So now we say you're smart, right? So how many type of smartness do you know? Kira, how many type of smartness, being smart, do you know? Can someone help Kira? Michelle, to me, go ahead.
I know like general knowledge, academic knowledge, and athletic knowledge.
Very good, very good. That's pretty good. So general knowledge, academic knowledge, athletic knowledge. Okay. So now, Patrick, what's the difference between general knowledge and academic knowledge?
Well, I don't know the answer. The reason why I was just
That's okay. Huh? If you don't know the answer, you're okay.
The reason why I was raising my hand is because I didn't know what you meant. I mean, did you mean?
Rikita?
Academic knowledge is like for school and like how to do math, and general knowledge is like for like day-to-day life.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. Tami, Sandra?
Academic knowledge is for academic
academics, and then general knowledge is like focusing the learning.
Okay, very good. Tami, Yeti?
Okay, so academic knowledge is like school smarts. Then general knowledge, if you learn it right away, is street smarts.
All right, very good. So there's something called book smart, or as Yeti and most of you just mentioned, academic smart or school smart, right? So that's what we call book smart, okay? Versus street smart, okay? So I'm sure you have heard about this. Now let's talk about street smart or general knowledge, okay? So what is the definition? What do you understand by street smart? Is it a good thing to be street smart, or is it a bad thing? Dylan.
I think street smart is bad thing.
You think street smart is bad thing? Okay. All right, Jackson, what do you think? Is street smart bad or good?
I think it's like in the middle, because some things you should know, but like some things you shouldn't.
Okay. So let me give you an example. I'm a doctor. I know about medicine, right? But I know nothing else. Okay. Suddenly my toilet blocked. I don't know what to do. Then I gotta make a bunch of phone calls. Now I can't go to the bathroom anymore. A guy come and fix it in like about 3 minutes, charge me $200, right? So what's the problem here? I'm a book smart, I know medicine, I went to medical school, I'm a doctor, but I don't know how to unplug a blocked toilet, right? That's a general smart or general knowledge or street smart. Michelle, to me, you wanna add?
So street smarts would be good for your life because they can like protect you from danger. Like common sense would be like if you see a pot on the stove, you wouldn't touch it, or else it'd be like too hot.
Yes, very good, very good. Tata Patrick?
So what is the question? I want to answer it.
How do we measure how smart you are, how book smart you are? What's the measurement that we normally use? Marina?
Sorry, I don't know.
Thomas, what do we use to measure being book smart? How smart you are? What's the measurement do we use? Tami Miano, you want to answer that question? Okay, Miranda.
IQ.
IQ. Okay, so IQ, what does IQ stand for? Nolan.
IQ stands for your intelligence.
Okay, intelligent quotient, right? So that's what we measure. Now, how do we measure street smart? Michelle.
You would measure street smarts like if people like go like outside and like without any pants on, then they don't have a lot of street smarts. But
okay.
But if people like when they're like opening an oven, but they use like those oven mitts, then that's like they have like general knowledge because yeah.
That's good to me. But what I'm looking for is for being book smart or smart at school, then we measure with that name called IQ, right? When we want to measure being street smart, what do we measure with? When?
Oh, you can go to Boy Scouts.
You can go to Boy Scout.
Or Girl
No. Okay. So any one of you ever heard about EQ? Anyone?
No.
No? Okay. All right. So we will discuss about that. So now we will here. Okay. Now, what do you see here? Look at the picture first, don't read. What do you see? So you see this? What is this?
I see IQ on the top part of the iceberg and EQ on the bottom part of the iceberg. And the bottom part of the iceberg is much bigger and the top part of the iceberg is much smaller. So I suppose that EQ is much better.
I see. Very good, Bob. Very good. So now, why do we use the symbol of an iceberg here? Who knows about Titanic? Why did Titanic sink? Yeti.
Because they hit an iceberg and a lot of people died.
Okay. Now, what was the watch guy, not the captain? The captain was not there on the deck. So the deck watch person, what was he thinking? What did he see? Jackson.
I think he saw an iceberg, but he could not stop the Titanic.
Jackson.
He saw the iceberg, but it was small, so he probably thought like it wouldn't do any damage.
Very good. Perfect. That's the right answer, right? So the Titanic at the time was huge. So he looked around and he saw a small iceberg. Said, "Oh, not a big deal. You know, we are a very huge, gigantic bird. We can just crush that." So he didn't warn. But when it is closer, he realized, gosh, that's huge. Too late. Now, the same thing, the IQ is just the tip of the iceberg. What is important underneath is EQ. Okay. Now, the EQ include this: self-awareness, motivation, self-management, social skills, and empathy. If you're good at these, you're considered what? Street smart, right? But if you're a bookish person, all you do is every time you just read, you don't hang out with any friend, you just go to library and you spend 20 hours of your day in library, read books, great. You have great IQ. But if you don't have these, you don't have any EQ, right? So, but you cannot live without IQ. But if you have just IQ alone, that won't work for you in your life either. So what do you think? You're learning Buddhism here today. Is Buddhism IQ or EQ? Tamikira, what do you think? If you learn Buddhism, you think it is IQ or EQ?
EQ, I think.
EQ, all right, very good. Andrew, what do you think that?
I think EQ also.
Okay, Ricky?
I think EQ.
EQ, all right, Eric?
I think it's EQ.
Okay, Dennis?
I think it's EQ.
EQ, okay. Sarah?
I think it's EQ.
Okay, all right. So the correct answer is just like the iceberg. Buddhism actually have both. You're gonna have IQ because can you just go on the street and look around and will you learn about Buddhism? No, at least you gotta come to the class or you listen to Dhamma or you listen to Sangha or Pompo, or you gotta go to the library and read, right? Then apply it. So you're right though, Buddhism is 80% EQ, but not complete 100%. You still need to learn, you still need to read or listen to Dhamma, okay? Now, Buddhism actually prepare you for your life because Buddhism is more so of EQ, okay? All right, very good. So in Buddhism, there are 4 different types of Buddha, okay? Now, you all know what Buddha is. So for example, the Buddha that we bound down to today, the image that you have, okay, called Sabbinyuta Buddha. So that's the person who knew everything, enlightened, okay? Now, Bisheka Buddha is not enlightened as Buddha, but he or she also got liberated, okay? He knew everything about the world, but he doesn't know how to teach back to the others. Whereas Sabbinyuta Buddha knows everything and can teach back. Bisheka does not, okay? Satu Sasha Buddha are arahants, right? So Satu means 4, okay? Sasha is the noble truth. So those who actually realize and experience the 4 noble truth, not just by knowledge, but experienced practice. So those are arahant, right? Those are called Satu Sasha Buddha. Now there is something that we never discussed about, is called Sutta Buddha. Now Sutta Buddhas are none of these, but is someone who has the knowledge, who has the book knowledge. That is called Sutta Buddha. Okay, so this is the book smart Buddha. Right? There are a lot of monks in Burma today. They memorize the whole 3 Pirkat or 3 baskets of all the preachings and teachings of Buddha. Right? They are called Sutta Buddha. Right? They have the knowledge. Okay, so these are called knowledge Buddha. Right? So they fall into this. Now that's about Buddhism. Now we're going to go into SQ because SQ is very important in our life, and also it is about Buddhism. Okay, so as I just mentioned, SQ is a spiritual quotient. Okay. Okay, so we are going to discuss about SQ. We discuss about IQ, which is intelligent quotient, which basically measure your being book smartness, right? So if you have good IQ, let's say you're 10 years old, but you have read all the books of the PhD, then your IQ will be 200, right? So, but that actually tell us that you are good at all these books. It doesn't tell you anything about your life. It doesn't tell you anything how you will handle ups and downs of your life. Okay. Now it comes EQ, which is emotional quotient, right? Measure about your social abilities. How do you handle your daily life? We talk about that. Now we're going to talk about SQ. Okay. So what is SQ? SQ is spiritual quotient. What is spiritual quotient? Spiritual quotient, here's the formula. Spiritual quotient is EQ plus IQ. Okay, that's why I just explained to you that Buddhism, if you learn Buddhism, you're learning both. You gotta have IQ and you gotta have EQ also, right? Now, the reason why we put EQ at the front is because EQ has more weightage in SQ, right? So that's why SQ equal to EQ plus IQ. You just can't say, forget about going to school. I am already street smart. I know how to survive in life. That won't work, right? You still need to go to school. You still need to read books. Okay, you can't say, oh, I'm already street smart. I don't need to go to school. I don't need to read books. I don't need library. That won't work, right? Because you're gonna have both EQ and IQ. Definitely EQ is more required, but you cannot live without IQ either. Okay, only when you have both EQ and IQ, you will be considered to have SQ, which is the spiritual quotient. Now that is true to any religion or even atheist. From the temple, right? From your life experience, so that will make your EQ to be stronger and stronger. Now, what do you see here? Your heart, right? Remember, we as Buddhists focus on our heart so much. Buddha said heart is even more important than our head or brain. Now, it doesn't mean that, oh, I don't need my brain. Let me take my brain out. I will survive with my heart only. That will work, right? Now, your brain is definitely important for your IQ, right? But your heart is at least as important, or according to Buddha and Buddhism, is actually more important, right? Now you gotta have your EQ and IQ, basically your heart and your brain. Then that would take you to the level of the SQ, the soul. Got it? So you really need to understand this. Only then your life will go higher and higher and higher. If not, a lot of us these days are really good in head, especially because in this country, a lot of us focus on IQ, 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 right? Study this, then you become bookish, bookworm. You have no friends, or you have very few friends, right? Now, when you're depressed, well, you don't have close relationship with your parents because let's say you're already at the college, right? You have only one or two friends. Now, let's say that one or two friends leave you. Now you are stressed. You're depressed. That's not good. When you get a job, when you're in business, it is not about your title, how much you know. It is about the connection that you have, right? The more people you know, the more sociable you are, the more business you get, right? Now, that's why this EQ is very important, right? More so when you get to this level of spiritual quotient, you need these, right? So you really need to understand this equation and practice it. We're going to go more, okay? So for that reason, because Buddha said, not only that you listen, right? Let's say you're listening to me right now, but you haven't observed it yet. So you gotta listen to, or you gotta hear it, then you gotta observe it, okay? Observe it meaning by your eyes, then sutta is experienced, experientially, right? If you wanna know how to drive a car, you can read 1,000,000 books, you can go to library and read 1,000,000 books. That doesn't make you to be a smart driver. What do you need to do? You really need to physically drive a car, right? So now there's a good saying in every profession, in our medical profession also, you see one, you do one, and you teach one. So you're gonna see it or listen to it, you're gonna do it yourself. Then for you to know this better, you actually have to teach one. So follow this too. If you know something, don't keep it to yourself, okay? You're gonna teach to someone who wants to learn it from you, okay? That's the general guidance for anything, any knowledge that you have, okay? So that goes along with this Mangala Sutta too. That's Mangala. All right. Now, we will talk about a story from Buddhism. So, at the time of Buddha, there were 6 Brahmins. Okay. So those Brahmins, they make money by doing what they are good at. So Brahmins are considered to be educated. Okay. They are considered to be the higher class in Indian sect. Okay. So they have level of the kings and the queens, then followed by the Brahmins, followed by the ministers, which are also educated, followed by the like generals and soldiers, farmers, merchants, okay? Then followed by the general, followed by the lowest, which are untouchable. Now, Brahmins are the one who even the kings and the queens and the minister go to for their consultation. Now, these 6 Brahmins, by doing that kind of profession, they made a bunch of money. Now, one day, they decided that, okay, we cannot go around with this money. We gotta put it somewhere, because if we're going around, we can lose this. So they left it with a poor girl, poor lady, and told her that we will pay you some money. If you take good care of this, we trust you. You cannot give it to anyone. You cannot give it to any of us unless all 6 of us are here with you. Right? So now this story, we're going to show you a little advanced, updated version in a little video clip. Let's enjoy that, and we will discuss more after enjoying that video. Okay?
Yeti's money stash? Oh, K-pop merch. Here I come.
Hey.
Hey?
I smell pennies!
Spending our time here, wasting our lives. Give you some movies. Why even try? We come up with dumb songs and hope they're fun too. So just stick with us and hope you make it through. Like maybe choosing the outfit or clicking delete. Going insane with nothing to eat. Different accents. Why do we choose? This job is so stressful. So many things to do. Let's take it from the top.
For this story, instead of Varanasi, we're going to go to another country named Kusawati. Strange name, I know. Of every country, there's a king. You all know the drill.
The king for this particular country was King Mahasamara. Phew, that was hard to pronounce. Anyway, he'll come later in the story. In the meanwhile, there was a very well-known astrology group in the country. Their name was the Stargazers?
Yeah, kinda stupid name.
I thought it was pretty good. You're the only one who thought that was a good idea.
Well, all 7 of them were known for predicting the future through the stars and constellations. The people loved them. And after a few hirings, the stargazers were able to gather 500 gold coins together. Hey, money is money.
Yo, guys, this is amazing.
It's only 500 coins. Money is money.
So what are we doing right now?
Isn't it obvious? Let's party!
Sounds like a good idea.
Wait, what?
What's going on?
Yeah, we deserve a break, guys. You know what? Let's go bowling. I haven't done that since I was a kid.
I don't know. We still have other things to do, like the
Please! With rainbows and sprinkles and cherries and ice cream and more ice cream because I like ice cream on top.
Fine. Wait. Let's just know that I'm going to kick everybody's butts at bowling here. Before they planned to party their hearts out and destroy each other in bowling, the 7 star geeks decided to entrust their 500 gold coins to a lady near the bowling arena.
What we're asking you is very simple, ma'am.
Yeah, all we have to do is keep our stuff.
Wait, No, don't listen to him. What we're asking of you is to keep our things until we come back to retrieve it. When I mean we, I mean all of us have to give confirmation. We'll just be down at Bob's Bowling. So if you or we need anything, we'll be there.
So, we good?
Yeah. So with that, the group went to go play ball. But just as they were about to get started with the round, hold up.
Oh my, what now?
We forgot the most important part of the party.
And what would that be?
Party hats! Duh. I don't see why it's so...
They are pretty important, Bass Bro.
If this is the only thing that's stopping us from starting, I'll just go get them. Wait, maybe I should get them cut.
Yas, Grace. You go, girl. You have been promoted to my most favorite person.
Wait, but you losers. So Grace headed towards Noelle's house to retrieve the important party hats. But little did the others know that Grace had other intentions.
Oh, you're back already?
Yeah, we figured that bowling just wasn't for us. We need all of our stuff back.
Well...
What's wrong?
Your friend said I needed confirmation from all of you before I give you anything back.
You can yell and ask if you want.
So that's exactly what Noelle Gray did. Hey! You guys want me to give your stuff back?
Sure!
Thinking that Noelle only meant the party hats, the rest of the group responded with their confirmation. So Noelle gave Grace the money and the party hats.
You know what? I think it's time I go home.
Well, you saw right. Grace decided to run off with the money, starting a new life, leaving everyone else bowling. After the whole bowling smackdown, the rest of the group headed back to Noelle's house to get their coins back. However... You what?
I gave you all your stuff back, remember? That emo girl came and got it for you all. What's going on?
I'll tell you what's going on. We just lost all of our money because she couldn't keep the end of the deal.
You know, I was really beginning to like you.
Whoa, hold up there. You guys told me to give your stuff back with all of your confirmation. That happened last night. How am I supposed to know? You're the one who's supposed to keep track of these things. You never spoke to that.
I didn't even do it.
Potatoes are amazing.
Believing that Noelle was the one to blame, the Stargazers, minus Grace, took the case to King Mahasamara and the court, which seemed more like a living room, but shh.
Wait, so all of you are saying that you were tricked by this woman?
No!
Yes!
And she twisted your words around, allowing your ex-comrade to settle with your money.
That's exactly what happened.
No, it's not.
Well, as I see it, you are guilty as charged, Noala.
What? That's not fair.
Nah, it's pretty fair. The court is adjourned.
And game over! The Stargazers won the case, and with that, they got to choose the sentence. Sorry about that, Noelle. Anyway, Noelle was sentenced to work for the Stargazers for 3 years. Don't ask me why.
Moving forward in time about 1.5 years later, the 6 astronomers were doing okay and Noelle's mental well-being was crippling. Someone just get me out of this mess.
Do not worry, young maiden, for help has arrived. Enter Charlotte Lance, one of Noelle's best friends. And when I say best, I mean bestest of best.
Shar, what are you doing here?
Didn't you just say you wanted someone to get you out of this mess?
Yes, but how did you...
So let's go on a quest to save the lady in distress. Ooh, that rhymed.
Hold on, what?
So fear not, Madam Grey, for I shall be the Pocahontas to her tribe, the Jasmine to her people, the hero in this story, and I shall not fail.
What in the...
Let me have this moment. Your Majesty, I am here today to bring back Noelle Grey, who you have wrongfully punished. This fair maiden has done nothing wrong, and I am here to prove that.
I didn't catch your name.
Well, I didn't throw it.
Moving on. We are all here to revisit a trial that happened a really long time ago.
Yes, a trial that ended poorly with no consideration at all. Objection! Under the Sixth Amendment, Miss Grey had the right to a speedy trial. But the question is, was it fair?
We're going to a fair?
Order! Order! The defense, your case.
Thank you, Your Honor. Madam Grey, the astrology group known as the Stargazers asked you to keep their stuff safe, correct?
That is correct.
And to you, fellow astrologers, your instructions were that you were only to be given your things back when all of you were present. Is that right? Well, yes, but still. Your Honor, I request 500 coins. This was the amount of coins you lost on that night. You want it? Simple. Find the 7th. I'm sorry, what? Your instructions were clear. All 7 of you were to be present and have given your confirmation to get your possessions. Find the emo girl, and this is yours. Eager to forget the whole incident and leave it in the past, the Stargazers searched for Grace throughout the land. But no one could find the sneaky maiden who had escaped the clutches of the stars. Now back to the courtroom. Oh, you didn't find her. How sad.
Okay, so we didn't find Grace. So what? If you don't mind me asking.
Glad you asked. To be honest, it was just to see your defeated faces. What? How was the... Moving on. I just told you that the 500 coins would be yours if all of you were present, just like your instructions that night. Well, when my dear friend Noelle gave the emo girl your things, you were all present. Huh?
It's true. You all shouted for me to give your stuff back when I asked.
Well, yes, but... Your past verdict was wrong, Your Honor, and you made a huge mistake. As much as I'm reluctant to say this, I made an error a few years ago.
So in the end, Noelle was released from her position as a housekeeper. And the Stargazers lived in shame for what they had done. And Grace, she was doing pretty good.
Don't think about stealing my monies again.
Yeah.
Well, that was a fun story, all the drama and references. If I consider buying you K-pop merch, will you help me out for this video?
So, in this story, a lot of things happened. Tricks were played, money was made. Ooh, that rhymed.
In other words, the Stargazers took advantage of Noelle's mistake, not knowing it was actually their own. It was because of them that they had lost the money, not Madam Grey.
Using that, Charlotte Lance swooped in to save her friend from the sentence she did not deserve. If that information hadn't been known, Noelle would have to suffer from her fate even more.
So what did Charlotte have that allowed her to win the case?
Drama.
Well, yes, but besides that, she had much knowledge from what she was given at hand. By connecting the dots and making conclusions, she played her part as a hero well.
With this, you could be the hero in your own life. With knowledge, whether that be school smarts or street smarts, it can save your life and it can get you out of bad situations.
So if someone tries to cheat you off of something or anything close, maybe not so close, use your brain. It's there for a reason and a good reason at that. In all, having and using knowledge can be helpful indeed.
And about that K-pop merch?
It's a maybe.
But I deserve it though!
I'll leave the elf to tell you that.
What elf?
On the first day of
So this is a modern version of the Buddha story. So of course, at the time of Buddha, all these Brahmins made a promise among each other that we're going to leave the money with this lady, and they asked a promise from the lady that only one we all agree and come back together, you are to give back this 500 gold coins. But apparently one of them tricked and went back to the lady. So in the original story, they were going to a river to shower. Then they forgot the shampoo. It's a traditional natural made shampoo at the lady's house, so which is not very far from the river. So they asked one of the youngest Brahmin to go get it. So the youngest Brahmin went back to the lady and asked for the shampoo, natural shampoo, and also asked for the gold coins. So the lady said, no, you guys told me that all of you has to be present. So that tricky young Brahmin said, oh, if you don't believe me, just yell at them there at the river bank. They can hear you. So, and he said, hey, don't you guys agree that we need this? And you all agreed. So all the other Brahmins thought that he was talking about the shampoo. Then they said, yeah, we agree. Then the lady gave them money. Now when they came back, the money's gone, the youngest Brahmin's gone. Instead of blaming the youngest Brahmin, they blamed the lady, and they took the lady to the king, basically to the court. Now the king, also not wise enough, blamed the lady and decided that the lady should be a slave for all these Brahmins for several years. Till the daughter of the lady actually came out, and very brave, with a lot of street knowledge and book knowledge combined, went to the king and asked for retrial, right? And play out the story that you just watched. Okay, so let's talk about this. So we are learning today about being street smart, being book smart, having IQ, EQ, SQ, right? Now, what I want you to watch another video clip, and we will discuss about these two video clips next week, and I'll be asking you questions. So let me show you another video clip.
When determining life success, which is more important, book smarts or street smarts? The proponent of the so-called book smarts might suggest that it is our IQ that plays a critical role in determining how well people fare in life. Those who are advocates of what they might call street smarts would instead suggest EQ is more important. So which is it? Firstly, how can IQ and EQ be measured and tested against each other? Let's start by defining the two terms in order to understand their meaning and how they differ. IQ, otherwise known as intelligent quotient, is a measurement of your intelligence that is expressed as a number derived from a standardized intelligence test. So for example, a child with a mental age of 15 and a chronological age of 10 would have an IQ average of 150. IQ represents abilities such as visual and spatial processing, knowledge of the world, fluid reasoning, working memory, and quantitative reasoning. EQ, on the other hand, is a measurement of your emotional intelligence. EQ, otherwise known as emotional quotient, is centered on abilities such as identifying emotions, evaluating and perceiving how others feel, controlling one's own emotions, using emotions to facilitate social communication, and relating to others. Studies have shown that a high EQ boosts career success, entrepreneurial potential, leadership talent, health, relationship satisfaction, humor, and happiness. It's one of the most important aspects for everyone to consider when attempting to gain a less stressful and more rewarding career and work environment. Emotional intelligence has an importance as great as intellectual intelligence. Researchers have shown that our success at work and in life is 80% dependent on our emotional intelligence, while only 20% of that is intellectual. While our intellect uses calculated processed information to resolve problems, our EQ attempts to come up with a creative solution by involving empathy, social skills, flexibility, collaboration, and concern for oneself and others. The concept of emotional intelligence has a rapidly growing impact to our society. Many businesses now mandate emotional intelligence training and utilize EQ tests as part of their hiring process. So is there a way to increase our emotional intelligence? We've all experienced or met people that seem to be naturally gifted at controlling or recognizing their emotions. The good news is, even if you don't currently possess a high EQ, there is an increase in research showing that these skills can be learned. These skills can help individuals interact more effectively at work and create a more rewarding environment. Personal motivation is key to learning how to increase your emotional intelligence. Individuals would need to first assess their level of EQ, to then know what component of EQ needs tending to. Now that you understand the importance of EQ, why not try to increase your EQ level today?
All right, so you remember this slide from last few weeks, right? Now let's look at it. Who do you think has better EQ? Who do you think has better IQ? Yeah, Wayne, go ahead.
The person that has better EQ are the Americans, and the person that has better IQ are the Yimar, the Burmese people.
Okay, very good. Tata, Andrew.
I couldn't unmute at first. The person with the car, it has more EQ, while like the person, like the graduate person, it has more IQ.
Very good. Eric?
I think the guy on the car has more EQ, and the guy with the graduate hat has more IQ.
Okay, very good. Ricky?
The person with the car has more EQ and the other person has more IQ.
Very good. Leonardo?
I think the guy on the car and the one car has EQ, and the graduate and the car where the has to be pulled by a rope is IQ.
Very good. Thank you. So again, this is very important, right? Why we are not, when I say we, meaning in general, we Burmese or Asians are not as rich as Americans are because of that. I'll be very honest, IQ-wise, we Asians are way smarter than these guys, these Americans, right? Americans don't even know math. They don't know how to multiply 2 and 3, okay? You know more advanced math. You know a lot more, okay? You have a lot higher IQ. But the problem is, even though they don't know much about math, they know how to make money. They know how to make connections, right? So, Andrew, what is 12 times 13?
156.
Okay. Do you have 156 friends?
No.
Nope. Raise your hand if you have 156 friends. Anyone? Right now, today. Do you have 156 friends? Not online. No, yeah, online you probably have 2,000 friends, right? Every friend gives you a thumbs up or like or a little heart. No, real friends, not online virtual friends. Okay, so that's the difference, right? When you get older, who helped you? Are your friends? Okay, yes, you really need to have great IQ, but that is not enough. You really need to understand this. IQ in life is only 20%. The other 80% is the EQ, right? Only when your EQ and IQ combine, you can have SQ. So if you wanna say spiritually, I'm great, then what you need to have is you need to have good EQ also. Okay, so very good. So we're going to end here today.